Yeah, well, cool. Welcome, guys.
Episode 3. We've made it 3 episodes.
New spot, too.
Yes, updated spot.
Yeah.
Did you notice that CrossFit changed its name to CrossFit Sport on Instagram?
What?
No.
No.
I'm going to check right now.
It's just a new thing.
That's interesting. Oh.
This is the CrossFit HQ, not the CrossFit Games or anything. So
it's not the CrossFit
Interesting.
Games page.
Instagram is now called CrossFit Sport.
Maybe they're trying to differentiate between CrossFit the sport and CrossFit the affiliate.
Games? No?
You know? Like CrossFit affiliates versus CrossFit sport.
I would have thought they would have gone CrossFit HQ or CrossFit Health.
Interesting. And then CrossFit Games just stays CrossFit Games because they have that one already, right?
Yeah, wow. CrossFit Sport, eh?
I wonder if you've got such a big following like CrossFit would have, if you can like save the name CrossFit, so you change your username.
Bloody train.
Yeah, I wonder how that's gonna hold up. This is the most important part of the podcast right now. And now it's over. So how do you like that?
Yeah, you guys missed
Last
it.
week was dogs and Liam tapping.
Yeah.
This week's it's trains.
I've been put on this side of the box so I can stop touching the box.
That'll keep things interesting than bloody freight trains.
That's alright. It'll give us a minute to think about what we're saying, you know?
Yeah, so I would have thought they would have like lent more towards like away from sport, but that's interesting.
That's weird.
Yeah, but I also wonder with like someone that says have like 5 or 6 or 10 or 100,000 followers on Instagram or anything. If you posted something and your notifications were on, would your phone blow up?
Yes, it does.
Yes.
Like
100%.
They
You
just-
get every
they'd
notification.
have to turn it off.
And I wonder if they have like new or like different features to normal common folk with like filtering through things, and
I
it's
don't
like
think so.
I
I've
don't
seen...
think I do.
maybe like everyone with
another
a
train.
check mark might show up at the top, or you know, like because if you're getting like 5,000 comments on something, and you need to sift through that.
So usually on the comment section, the comments with the most like likes and interaction end up at the top of the comment section. So usually if a famous person replies to another famous person on their post, it ends up at the top because it's got so many likes and comments on it already. So I mean, at least that's
I've
how
always
I
just wondered how
experienced
people like would deal with a very
I actually watched
big
a video
account.
of Billie Eilish after she posted something, and it's just a video of her phone she's scrolling for like 3 minutes of all these notifications that's on her phone. It's insane. No, I cannot.
That's
I'm not
too
jealous.
much for me.
Turn it off.
I don't need that in my
Yeah.
life.
Yeah, I don't get that many notifications. I get enough, but it's all spam.
Oh, I got
I get
3
heaps-
phone calls yesterday from a phone number that is 1 digit different to mine, and every time I answer it, the guy's like, "Why'd you call me?" Because it's some random guy. I don't know what's going on. It's a guy, and his number is calling me, but he thinks my number is calling him.
What?
Yeah, it's very strange.
So weird.
Yeah.
I just get heaps of DMs of like sex chats on my Instagram.
Oh yeah. So you haven't gotten text messages or anything?
No, I get
Come
the
on,
occasion-
silence, Gregory, silence.
I get the occasional phone call. I get the occasional phone call, but never text messages or anything.
Over the last month, I get 5 a day.
What?
Yeah, since I started signing in places.
Conspiracy.
Conspiracy.
Continue, guys.
Yes, continue. Greg's got some important things to do. Yes.
Anyway.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about this week, hey?
Yeah. This
Yeah.
week's been good.
Let's go to Monday.
Monday. What do we do Monday?
We just mixed things up a little bit.
Oh,
We put
that's
the back squats
right.
and the extra work, so
That's
everyone could get them into some sweaty mess on Monday. So we did our interval stuff. We had them negative splits over 1,000 meters on each machine.
Delicious.
2 minutes rest between. Oh no, it was work rest, 1-to-1.
1-to-1, yep.
And then we did this looked pretty hard, the 3 sets of handstand push-ups, but it was at 50%.
Yep.
So I saw a lot of people start to really struggle with this, but if you think about it, that's a lot more volume than what they were hitting for their AMRAP score.
Yeah, it's 150% of what the 5-minute AMRAP was.
yeah, wow.
That's been the same every week, but this time it's in bigger sets. So every week we've been doing 150%. So the EMOMs have
Over
ended
the
up
time, it ends up
over
equaling.
the 10 minutes. It ends up being, but it's always been smaller sets, and this is the first time where it's like, hey,
A big chunk.
do 20 or whatever it was. And some people paced it really well and actually found it pretty easy, but then others also obviously went out and did like their first set of 20 unbroken, and then their last set like doing ones, maybe half reps at a time.
Yeah, I kind of briefed that one, telling people to, I mean, the goal is to try and do that set quickly, but I was telling them the whole point of this whole program is to build capacity. So I'm like, go out with a big set. And like, even if it doesn't pay out on the third set, at least you gave it a good crack and you're building them big sets in confidence from the start. And
100%.
some people did that. The first set was good, second set was starting to break apart, third set was like down to singles. But don't start with singles, because your goal is to do bigger sets,
I think,
at the end of this program.
I think that was, I really personally enjoyed that for that reason, because with the EMOMs you have a time constraint on, like, you have to get this many reps done every minute, where with this one it was like, hey, you can take as long as you like. Like, yes, you want to be as fast as you can, but it gives you an opportunity to use a different scaling option, like actually get upside down instead of using the dumbbells, or go a little bit faster with bigger sets than you would normally do, because it's like, oh, I don't have to do another set in 40 seconds time. So, yeah, I think that's kind of the point. And then next week we go back to the EMOM style.
Well, I like that.
I had a lot of people were coming in for their back squats afterwards as well. Getting them done, getting them all done.
I think we, as Greg said, wanted to
give
those people, just give those people that aren't as excited about back squatting every Monday a chance to do something sweaty, and then the people who wanted to back squat could still back squat. So
but it's like good to see that there were people still
coming
like
in,
staying
excited.
on top of it and actually getting them done.
You
So
really
many
see a lot of improvements by squatting heavy at least twice a week. Let's move on to the shit sandwich on Tuesday.
Tuesday was awesome.
So 21:15:9, rest 4 minutes, then 9:15:21. 3 or 4 weeks ago we did it with dumbbells. This time we're doing it with a barbell to give you that false sense of security. Maybe you can go a little bit faster. And from the feedback, everyone was saying that they were expecting it to be worse. Obviously that last set of like 15 and 21 was pretty challenging on the burpees, but everyone had a good dig at that one, and the 4 minutes rest allowed that intensity to stay pretty high.
I felt the same when I did it. I was like, oh, that wasn't as bad as I thought it would be. I think, so I deliberately tried to go slower on that first set of 21:15:9, and then ended up actually going the same pace. So like, tried to go slow, but because the barbell's a little faster than the dumbbells, ended up being the same pace as with the dumbbell.
What was the difference between, like, when you did the 21:15:9 barbell burpees versus your 21:15:9 dumbbell burpees the first round? Did you do a similar time, or
exactly the same? I did 3 minutes and 10 seconds for both.
Really?
Yeah, it was the same.
Interesting.
For most people, because of the way I briefed it, it was a little bit slower with the barbell, because they were a little nervous about the 15 and the 21. But towards the end of the day, I was just telling people, like, 4 minutes is enough rest, you'll be fine, just go, and then try and use that 9 and 15 on the back end to prepare yourself for the 21, because I think that's where most people kind of fell apart. Hey, it was on the 21 hang power cleans at the end. Like, there were people on track to get like a sub 11 minute time, and then they get to those last 21 hang power cleans and they do 7 and they're like, oh, I can't. Because at least the 21 burpees you can just black out and do 21 burpees. Where with the hang powers it's like, oh, I can't hold onto the bar anymore.
My hands no longer work. We had don't laugh. We had one of the girls, Jo, on Tuesday night, first RX workout.
So exciting! I saw the comment on. I spoke to her about it last night as well.
good.
She's super excited about it.
That's so cool.
Yeah, she was hoping to get cut off though.
No, I wasn't going to let that happen.
No, she was. Oh, and then this next one we can talk about this.
On Wednesday we did a cool chipper. So it was 30 pull-ups, 40 wall ball shots, 50 box jumps, 10 clusters at 85 kilos for guys, 60 for ladies, then back down of 50, 40, 30. When I was talking about this, because Monday was kind of fresh in everyone's head a little bit, I was telling them, hey, remember them negative splits we were doing? Try and have a bit of a sense of that in this workout. So if you have a bit of a, like, maybe don't blow your load on the first 2 minutes of this workout, you might have some energy left for the second set of box jumps, which is probably where everyone really started to struggle. So I was just kind of linking Monday and Wednesday together and like having these negative splits allow you to become a smarter athlete. So try and have that sense. You might not go faster on the back end of this workout, but at least you have that intention when you started.
To finish
and
strong.
maybe don't do the 30 pull-ups unbroken, or maybe don't,
Yeah, 100%. Because that's the point of a chipper, right? Is to chip away, keep moving. There's no point going fast and then like doing the pull-ups unbroken, then doing sets of 5 on the wall balls.
Yeah, well, that was what I had in my head when I did the same thing. I was like, you could probably do the first set 30, 40, 50, unbroken, no problems. And then it's like, okay, well, the cluster weight was fine for me. But it was always going to be
the box jumps and then
the box jumps and the wall balls. Yeah. And then I was like, I'm pretty solid at pull-ups, but I know that another 40 wall balls before my last 30 is probably going to feel funky.
100%.
So I did that same thing. I kind of broke strategically from the start.
Yeah.
Could I have gone faster? Yes, especially on that last round of wall balls. But I think I moved at a consistent pace through the entire thing. Yeah. And that's
the goal, right? Yeah. And I think I really liked implementing that like pretty aggressive time cap on that workout. Like at 18 minutes, I think over 50% of the gym didn't finish the whole chipper, and I think that was good in a sense, because it kind of adds urgency to the chipper. Like a chipper is like, if you have no time cap on a chipper or a 40-minute time cap, then people are like, oh, I'll get it done, so don't worry about it, don't have to go fast. And it kind of just added a little bit of sense of urgency, especially on that 50 and 40 on the way back up. And I just thought deliberately to try and make people just send it a little harder, because the people who are going to go fast are going to go fast regardless, but then the people who are usually around that time cap are forced to just go a little harder. I saw an absolutely awesome performance by Jojo's partner, Jono. He kind of has been struggling with this pull-ups, linking them together recently, and we nailed it in the warm-up. And he finished the workout with 2 seconds to go.
Amazing.
RX.
So good.
So RX clusters, RX pull-ups, just looked like the absolute man on the way down. Just like looked super confident, and he's a big, strong dude, so those clusters looked amazing. And then on the way back, I think he had 17 pull-ups left to do with a minute before the time cap.
It just
clutched it. Yeah, clutched it. It was awesome. Yeah,
so good.
Really good family week for them.
Yeah, definitely. I like the contrast between like the really sort of easy movements leading into that very heavy cluster. It's a very heavy weight. I saw Josh Wright do 85 kilos, and you know, the first 2 reps were like, he was questioning himself, like, fuck, this is really heavy. But just kept at it, used the clock, tried to go every like 20 or 30 seconds.
Found it got better through it as well.
Yeah.
And that's what I said to everyone. I said, choose a weight that's going to be challenging, but you can do 1 rep every 20 to 30 seconds and stay consistent. Like, don't just go light because you want to get it done in the time cap. You know, actually challenge yourself with that weight. And it was good. It was really impressive to see everybody do that.
Stuart impressed me as well. He did 60 kilos, and he was hurting, but he got through it. Let's go for today. Thursday. I don't have it up on Evernote.
Yes, so today we've got 3 8-minute AMRAPs with a 2-minute rest in between each one in pairs. So partner 1 is the pace setter. Pace setter will do a 100-meter farmer's carry and a 50-meter dead ball carry. And partner 2 is doing max calories on a machine. Just kind of like a good way to move without just sitting on a machine for 45 minutes. The hardest part, I think, having watched it this morning, is the farmer's carries. They just get hard. Your forearms get tired and start putting it down, and that makes your partner work for longer on the machine. And it's just good fun to watch.
And how many rounds were they getting?
So the round was probably taking just like, depending on the pair, but like probably 2 minutes per round. So they were getting through 2 rounds each-ish in an 8-minute AMRAP. So pretty straightforward, but I think it's a really good recovery day. I think even with the lack of back squats in the class on Monday, people are feeling pretty beat up after that workout yesterday.
Yeah, definitely.
Trying to do those extras after that chipper, like the hip extensions and so on. People just like, it's like zombies walking around the gym. I think people were pretty thankful for a bit of a recovery day today before some action again tomorrow.
Speaking of which, tomorrow we've got some Olympic lifting, so we're going to go 5 sets of 2 power snatch
Oh,
75%.
power snatch.
Yes, every Friday.
Oh, snatchy
Yeah.
snatch.
Yeah, 75%. So it's still not like
Not heavy, but
super heavy yet.
I think that's kind of what I'm enjoying at the moment, is hitting those lower, like, it's funny because if you're doing back squats, you're like, oh, 75% is heavy, and then suddenly snatches, you're like, oh, I want to snatch 90%. Like, come on,
All the time.
Yeah, but that's what stops, like, gets you better. Number one, and number two also like stops injuries. Like,
I always say between 60 and 80% is where all the magic happens.
that is correct. Yeah, and that's where we're spending most of our time at the moment, and just the gains I'm seeing from people,
The
just
consistency.
movement wise, and like the other day I went up to someone, I was like, okay, I think it's time for you to just up your number you're working off a little bit.
Yeah.
Because I think it's been 3 years since you've tested properly, like actually done a Olympic lifting section and like tested your clean. So let's just up your percentage by 3 or 4 kilos and see how that feels. And yeah, anyway.
And what are some things that people should be walking into this session thinking about for like something that's not max effort snatch, and they've done it so consistently over the past couple of weeks, and kind of easy to fall into that habit of being a coach as well, being like, oh well, you know what to do. But like, how can you get them to start thinking about some very specific things to help improve for this week?
Same thing for the power cleans every week. I feel like it's hard to not feel like a broken record because it's the same things apply every single time. We're not trying to change anything. We're trying to have focus on our technique. What are your feet doing? Are you using your legs? Like being actually aware of what your body is doing during that movement, and not just going, my hands are on the bar, get it overhead. It's like actually breaking that process down. So having that athletic stance when you catch, being solid in your catch, holding it, like don't rush to stand up, hold that catch, be solid there, feeling all of those different positions and not trying to just rush your way through everything.
Personally for me, I've been obviously all those same things, but every week as a coach, as I'm coaching the class, I pick one of them to pick on people. Be like, today I'm going to be super specific about the pause and the catch. Next week, okay, today I'm going to be super specific about feet moving and not being too wide in your catch. Next week, catch a little bit lower, like a low power, not a full, not a super
like
high power. Yeah.
This
not
much
a
out.
muscle. Yeah, exactly. So, like, you're still in your brief talking about the whole, but then as you're walking around, you're being more specific about one thing from week to week.
Yeah, I like that. I've been kind of like playing with that theme with the power snatch. I think people have power snatched in the past, so they know how to power snatch, but they kind of think because it's a power snatch, not a squat snatch, that they don't have to be as fast under the bar. But I'd almost think that you need to be faster. The bar needs to travel higher, but I see a lot of people kind of catching in this like sort of just like a bit of a bladed stance, or kind of like a very soft athletic position. So I tell people to do a squat snatch without squatting. And 100%. That will it just flings up. So so that's I think that's the difference between these beginner and intermediate athletes to a really more towards an advanced power snatch, is to get people to get under the bar really fast in the power, and to link them two together, being aggressive off the ground but being confident under that bar. We've got, you can walk us through this one, 100 overhead squats with Fran weight, but you're only working a minute at a time. You rest 2 minutes. You've got to get through 100 overhead squats, but you've got to buy in every minute with 50 double unders. So I'm assuming like 30 seconds worth of...
So if you're going fast on the double unders, you're getting 35 seconds of like rope down, approach the bar, and then 30 seconds worth of overhead squatting. So it's very similar to that workout we did 2 weeks ago with the box jump overs.
Did we do this one?
I've done this one. I did it in lockdown.
Jordan, I did it.
Correct.
I remember doing that
so
one,
I did it with Jordan when the gym was closed. We did
that was fun.
Workout.
That one.
Yeah. So I thought I'd sneak it in there and have you guys do it as well. So similar to the box jump over one, where we accumulated the 100 box jumps. Cardio to start with, and then just get on that bar and work for the entirety of the time and do not put it down. I think the key to a well-executed workout today is execution. Yeah, like concentrating on going unbroken on your double unders is more important than going fast on your double unders. Concentrating on squat snatching and just staying consistent with your overhead squat is more important than going fast, because going fast means you do four really fast and then you'll like have one that goes forward and you'll go for a walk. And so like it's pushing that line of speed and consistency, and I think it's something really cool to practice. Like I didn't find this workout overly difficult like the Wednesday or Tuesday one where it just leaves you on your back out of breath completely because you're only working for a third of the time. But I've really a different kind of challenge in terms of pushing your skill level rather than pushing your
and
cardio
very much
ability.
promotes technique and efficiency on the rope as well, because if 50 double unders gas you or you're jumping too aggressively, then
you're in for a fun time.
Yeah, definitely. So I think we kind of lent towards maybe 30 seconds of double under attempts, or how many are you doing in 30 seconds? Let's just leave it there for the next couple rounds.
I think if you're not doing any double unders like consistently, if you're doing a one and then tripping and then a one and then tripping, it is important to kind of keep the integrity of the workout in terms of doing the overhead squats under fatigue. So if the double unders are that hard for you that you're actually not even getting out of breath, just hop on a machine and do some calories. I think is going to be the best option.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sick. On Saturday,
talk us through it.
We got teams of 2. So we're going to do 100 burpees, 200 dumbbell snatches, 300 sit-ups, 200 dumbbell lunges, and 100 push-ups. In your pairs, I work for 30 seconds and my partner works for 30 seconds until you get the work done.
Yeah, wow.
Obviously, I feel like most people are going to get the sense that we're working on a bit of a interval style theme for the last couple of weeks. And I think we all know the power of intervals. And you go out really hot, then you rest. It's almost like doing reps for your heart and your metabolic conditioning. So I mean, that's why we're doing it, if anyone wants to know. But that's not to say that we don't do our, like Wednesday for example, we still do our longer 15 to 20 minutes of just like continuous moving. To me, that's kind of like the application, but this is training. Even though they're simple movements, training is just work, rest, work, rest, work, rest.
Correct.
And
I think
then apply that to your sport.
You see this fad in the world at the moment. It's like everyone's doing high intensity interval training, but the reason everyone's doing it is because it friggin' works. Yeah. So like working hard for 30 seconds and resting for 30 seconds is not a bad thing. Yeah. That's where the results are, is in that high intensity stuff, and that doesn't mean that long grindy workouts are not important as well. But I think where a lot of the fitness is pushing your threshold, that red line.
Well, I was about to say, I feel like when you do a lot of that interval training, you go to a longer grindy workout and you're like, I'm so used to being like up here
at 190 beats per minute.
Now here is like cruisy, you know?
100%.
And that's that,
for sure.
that crossover benefit you get.
Yeah.
So there are a lot of, yes, it is a fad, and there's so many different styles of gyms out there, and sport and coaches. Like, off the top of your head, what do you think makes a good coach compared to just like maybe a trainer or someone that can make people sweat? Like, what separates a good coach from the rest of the field?
Being able to communicate. I think, like, not just like with people personally, but being able to communicate, like, and give direction for a workout, a movement, understanding all of those things, but knowing that everybody kind of responds to them differently, and being able to apply that individually to that person.
100%. I genuinely think that communication is nearly more important than like floor spotting. Nearly. Obviously, there's different things that have different importances to being a coach. Like floor spotting is important, being able to give correct cues is important, but knowing how to relate a different cue for different people. Like some people respond really well to, hey, pull your knees back, and like, oh, just like this, cool, great. Some people are like, I don't know where my knees are. So then you have to show them or put them in the right position or whatever. But it's I think that is what makes a good coach, is like being able to adjust how you
communicate
to
funny
everyone.
You say the word communication. That doesn't mean saying it. No. A good coach can like give you a head nod and you know what they're talking about because you've had that, a relationship. It could be like a gesture, it can be like a visual thing, it can be one word, it can be a whole sentence. So that's pretty cool.
I usually find it's not a whole sentence.
No. I mean, but over the years you coach someone, it can be days worth of talking, but the relationship gets so efficient that you can do
that thing.
Yeah, I'm looking at you and you know what you're doing. Okay, I'll do it better.
And I think a big one is also being selfless as a coach. And you see a lot of people, like, coaching for them is all about them looking like a coach and them acting and sounding like a coach and them taking praise for everything that
they do,
their athletes are doing. And it's kind of like, this is because I did this, like, whereas you got to let that person shine and, you've got to, like, celebrate them and don't just talk about how good your coaching cues were or this and that. Coaching isn't about you whatsoever. It should be about the person in front of you and it should be about their progress.
Agreed.
I always say, like, when people are like, oh, thank you so much, I'm like, I didn't do anything.
Yeah, you did
You're
all the hard work.
Did it. Like, I'm just here for the ride.
Yeah,
I'm just
standing here.
I'm just being part of it. Like, I just want to be in the background.
Yeah, good job.
And what got you guys interested in even wanting to go down that avenue?
Well, I think it was that. Like, I always say, I feel like my motive behind being a coach is quite selfish because it's seeing other people do things that they hadn't done or didn't think they could do or, just getting to that next kind of stage in their training and seeing how happy it makes them. That's genuinely what makes me really happy. And, like, being able to watch that person grow and develop and change, like, their progress is what makes me feel, like, motivated to be a better coach and to continue to be, doing what I'm doing.
Yeah, I think that's it for me as well. Along with the fact that, like, playing sport growing up, just had naturally, like, good at picking things up. So I was like, oh, I picked this up this way, so I kind of feel like I can
help others
pick it up easier because it was a process. I felt it this way, so I can actually describe what it feels like to someone else.
You've done it yourself,
yeah,
and so that process has enabled you to be able to help other people do
100%. I think in the end it was mostly just like, I'm good at communicating with people. I like talking. So it was something that came naturally to me, was to kind of go in the helping people area of stuff.
Well, me personally, I feel like I might have been in the starting point like a lot of other people where I was in it for myself and I wasn't in it for other people. And I learnt very quickly to change my tune because I'm not going to last. And I feel like it's pretty rare for people to go in being a good coach. That no one walks in being a good coach. And, like, I was just like, I'm just in it to make some money and do this and do that. And
have freedom with my time and my work.
That's how it works, right?
Yeah, no,
I'm not working all the time.
It was a big slap in the face quite quickly. And then you've got to learn. I needed to learn to be less selfish, and that that took time, but I'm glad I had to go through that. So going back to when you guys first did start your coaching, maybe in the first year, like, what's one thing that you wish that you knew then that you do now?
Not that I thought I knew everything, but I thought I knew a lot, and I didn't. And
what's it called, Greg? Your continuum that you like to talk about?
My continuum.
The knowledge.
Oh yes,
confidence continuum, whatever it was.
The Dunning-Kruger effect.
That's the one.
What's that?
It's where at the start you don't know a lot, but you feel like you know a lot, and then as you go along, you'll realize, actually, I don't know a lot. And
there's
like
so many things.
You end up knowing more things, but you're less confident about it.
People that don't know much are very confident about their something that they don't know. And they'll be like, they'll lie and tell whatever you need to do just to seem like they know exactly what they're talking about. And then when you get sort of shown up, you're like, holy shit, I actually realize. And some people don't go through this and they just keep going, fake it till they make it. But people get to a point where they're like, wait a second, I don't know anything. And then they want to stay in this industry, that's fine, but then they do this massive dip and they realize that they know nothing. And a true master of anything will have to go through that, and then by the time they start to actually, like, get some real knowledge, they're still not at a confidence that these new people are,
Mm.
but they know more than anyone.
Yeah.
And the more you
Don't know.
want to
the
be a
more
master
you-
at something, the more you think you don't know.
Yeah.
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 And yeah.
I think that was probably not that I thought I knew everything, but it was like just like always be asking questions like about like training and learning and stuff like that. Like I ended up being that person, but there was probably like 2 or 3 years there where I was like stuck in my little world, and it wasn't that I was overly arrogant. I just was complacent. And I was like, I know stuff, I'll be fine, this is enough, kind of thing. And then I started working with like a mentor, and I was like, oh my God, I know nothing.
Yeah. Yeah.
I know nothing.
Yeah.
So maybe like if I had come in with like a better mentality of like, just keep learning progressively, it wouldn't have been this like stagnant 3 years for me.
Yeah. I think, same basic thing. I was a PT for 4 years before I started coaching CrossFit. And I thought I knew everything. I was like, I know it all. I was like, Greg, hire me now because
I'm the best
I'm
coach
the
you're
best
ever
coach
going to
you'll
have.
ever had. Session 1, Greg was like, dude, what was that? That was average. And I think he sat there with the clipboard the whole time. And I remember having a conversation with Julie, and she was like, oh yeah, when you started, I did not like you. You did not know anything.
Yeah.
You were good one-on-one, but then you had no idea how to run a class. And I think it'll be like that forever. I'll always find that one thing where it's like,
Always got
oh,
stuff to improve.
this is where I need to improve. This is a big thing for me. It's like I used to think that being loud meant that I was controlling the room. I'm like, no, you're just screaming at people, mate. Like,
Why are
calm
you
down.
yelling at me?
Yeah, calm down, mate. Like, you don't need to do that.
Yeah.
Like, just if you speak in a respectful way, you'll end up getting the respect back. And I was just loud and annoying. And,
I with myself, I think that I used to, even though I'm not like a person that says a lot, I was trying to like verbalize everything where I realized I needed to say less, and I needed to, like do other things. Maybe I needed to like correct people in a different way, or I didn't need to explain everything like I knew it.
Don't try to be someone you're not in the end. Hey, like, own how you are as a person and use that.
Talk less, listen more, and try to fix things with less words. And you can hear when people start to ramble and they're talking about the same thing and they start to repeat themselves. It's like, I get it.
Yeah.
Let's move on.
Yeah.
Just like keep it simple. From a coaching point of view, or not from a personal point of view, what is something that people seem to misunderstand about you?
You want to go first?
Someone's gonna have to go.
I'll go first.
I feel like Greg's got something he wants to talk about.
No. I just, to be honest, I just Googled podcast questions. This one came up. I think it was number 2.
When all else fails,
Yeah.
Google's great.
Look at that. When all else fails.
Yeah.
Well, me personally, I think people misunderstand sometimes. Like I know I'm very much a introvert type of person and personality. So when I don't say anything, people might take that as arrogance or that I don't like them. But it's actually I'm more internal.
Yeah.
And I'm less dancy, prancy, and talky. And so
It's funny.
Who's he talking about? I don't know any Dancy Prancy.
know.
we actually got a Dux Brew review,
Yeah.
and it's like, coffee's good, guy with the beard, arrogant. 3 stars.
Holy shit. People are savage.
People are horrible. You're like, this is my business, yeah?
I felt
This
like
is my
replying back
livelihood.
saying,
It's
I'm actually just trying my best to make a
Greg's
good
just sitting in Dux Brew crying.
There were a few people that came in, they were just like super bubbly, and like I kind of like go into my shell a little bit.
Yeah.
I don't want to try and compete with the
Bubbly.
noise
Intensity.
pollution.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But that's just me.
You can go.
I don't think there is something that I can talk about here. I don't ever feel misunderstood. I think who I am is fairly on my sleeve, and I feel like it's very rare where people misunderstand who I am as a person. So I don't know, not really for me that much.
I think maybe not so much on a coaching level, but on a personal level, I think I'm actually the opposite of Greg. I think a lot of people think I'm really outgoing, really quite a extrovert, and I'm actually not. I'm a really big homebody, and I'm cool with quiet time, and I think I put all of the extrovert parts of me into my job.
I do feel this the same way,
but outside I'm not necessarily that person.
Something that actually
doors.
helped me become a better coach was my mentor. He identified that I was an introvert, and he, like me, hired people that actually cared about other people and wanted to help, and was, didn't matter how much information you actually knew, he would teach you that. But you've got to, have that understanding that, and you actually want to be a coach and you actually care. And he was like, we had red shirts as well at the gym, and he's like, every time you put, don't train in your coach's shirt, train in, don't wear a shirt, wear your other shirt. When you put that coach's shirt on 10 minutes before the class starts, that's kind of like your fucking Superman.
Your
Superman
body
shirt.
armor.
And then when you put it on, you're the biggest version of you. And that's really stuck with me for a long time. So every time, I know my personality, and I hope it shines when I'm coaching. When I take my shirt off and I go home, I've created so much vibe, and I've put myself sort of out on the floor that I'm exhausted by the time I finish coaching, that I don't personally want to talk to anyone. I'm just kind of I just want to shrivel up because I just gave everything.
I often feel very sorry for my wife.
Yeah.
Because I get home, I'm like, I don't want to talk about anything. There's no way they can hear us. No way. That's very loud.
What do you mean?
What was that? Can you turn it up, please?
This happens to be the longest train in the Southern Hemisphere.
Yeah, we're still waiting.
Oh my god.
It's alright.
Anyway, I get home and I'm like, I always have been, I love being around people. And over the last 3 years especially, I've really noticed that I get home, I'm like, I need some me time. And the opposite problem to Greg, where I've needed to, because if I don't force myself to have some time alone, like go to the movies by myself or have a bath or whatever it is, if I don't spend that time with just myself, I get to the end of a month and I'm like, I'm gonna blow my brains out. I'm sick.
You're mentally
mentally completely fatigued. Even though that is where I like to be as a person, I think. But if you're there all the time, then
it's a lot of work.
It's not possible.
Yeah, I think that's the same thing. It's like, I just know that I give all of those really extrovert parts of me into my job because, like you said, I care. I want to be that best version of myself. But then I'll come home. And luckily, I have a partner that is a pretty big introvert.
Yeah, no, not my case.
So he's totally cool with a low-key vibe at home, which is, I feel like it really balances me out.
Most people do feel like that when they finish work, regardless of the work. And I even find on days that I have off, I've realised that I haven't talked to anyone the whole day. I haven't even said a word. We might have the morning off, and then Anne's at work, and then I'm like, she'll get home at 6 p.m. and I say the first word of my day at 6 p.m. It's crazy, and I love it.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you'd like to add to that?
No.
I've just Googled this fun trivia thing. There's 10 questions. I thought you guys can combine your scores, and we'll see how smart you guys are.
Oh dear.
I mean, I'm happy to jump in because I don't know the answers.
I'm nervous.
I don't know the answers to these either. We hit submit and then we see how.
Okay,
my.
So,
awesome.
I mean,
Cool.
it's a multiple quiz. So, question
choice.
1: What is the fastest land animal?
A cheetah.
A wolf.
Emu.
Well, there's a multiple choice.
Okay. Yes.
Sorry.
I mean, there's a cheetah in there.
Yeah.
Wolf, tiger, cheetah, giraffe.
Cheetah.
Cheetah. Emu.
Sorry, I forgot. Emu. What's an emu?
An emu.
I know what an emu. An emu? What's this?
Which of these is the fastest
don't fly.
fish? A shark, a flying fish, a tuna, or a sailfish?
Sailfish.
Sailfish.
I'm leaning that way. All right. What is the fastest bird? Is it a Peregrine falcon, a hawk, an eagle, or a stork?
Perugian falcon.
Well, it sounds fast.
Yeah.
I know this answer.
Oh, Perugian falcon.
Yeah.
Like, say
Yeah,
it.
let's say it.
Which of these?
Imagine I got it wrong.
I know.
Which of these is the shortest time span? A decade, a millennium, a century, or a dozen years?
Decade.
That's a weird question.
Which of these is the shortest measurement of length? A centimeter, a meter, an inch, a gram?
Shortest,
A centimeter, a meter,
an inch,
An
or, a
inch
gram.
or a gram.
A centimeter.
a centimeter.
Right? Because an
One's
inch is 3
singular,
centimeters.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Uh-huh.
Which of these words best completes this sentence grammatically?
Oh, this is not going to work.
No, this is bad.
He fastly dodged the speeding car. He neither of these dodged the speeding car. Either of these dodged the speeding car. He quickly dodged the speeding car.
He quickly dodged the speeding car.
Quickly dodge the speeding car.
Which of these most likely takes up the least time? Taking a shower, driving from Los Angeles to New York, reading a novel with at least 300 pages, watching a movie.
What?
I should have double-checked these.
Taking a shower?
Maybe it's a trick question. Maybe driving from Los Angeles to New York's really fast.
I don't know American geography.
It's
I don't
not.
know.
East Coast and West
Oh,
Coast.
I've got no idea where anything.
I
in
mean,
the
there could
US
be a
is.
very short movie out there.
No, surely shower.
No, I would say shower.
These questions are insane,
Terrible,
Gregory.
this game.
What is the shortest sentence in the English language? I am. None of these. A. Or go.
None of these, I think, is officially.
Go.
Because
I'm
there's
going
something.
One
go.
word? Is
These
one
are-
word a sentence?
I think
I think maybe there's a rule.
you're asking the
Has
wrong
to.
person, but there is a rule, and I don't know the rule.
Go
I am.
could be
I'm
a
gonna say-
statement.
I am. But that's not a sentence, is it? It's not a complete sentence.
Yeah, but what makes a complete sentence? That's why I think the other one.
Oh,
what was
wait. There's a full stop after I am and A. There's a exclamation point after go, and there's nothing after none of these.
Full
Like
stop?
there's no full stop or anything after none of
it?
these.
Oh,
I am.
I'm gonna let you make the decision.
I am. I'm going with I
Alright,
am.
Yeah, I think so, because 2 words and there's a full stop at the end.
Yeah.
This is the second
We're
last
gonna get
question.
so
by the way.
bullied for this.
Well,
section.
no, you're gonna go ask me a question that I would say I am. Are you going to the shops today? I am.
Yeah, but is that just how English has developed, or is that an actual sentence? Anyway, whatever.
Actual
We'll
sentence.
see.
This is the second last question, and I apologize. Of the following, who it was the shortest U.S. president?
Oh,
William Henry Harrison, James Madison, Abraham Lincoln, or George Washington?
Well, it wasn't Abraham Lincoln. I reckon
I haven't heard of the first two, so it's probably one of
Harrison.
Harrison. He sounds short.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he sounds sure.
them. All right, last one. Which of the following U.S. presidents served for the shortest amount of time? Wait, what? Of the following, who was the shortest president? Oh, the shortest person.
Yes.
Oh, okay, yeah. All right. Which of the following U.S. presidents served the shortest amount of time? That's what I thought that question was. Abraham Lincoln.
Lincoln, wasn't it?
James Madison.
Because he
The
got
same
shot.
people.
Lincoln.
Lincoln.
Let's go with Lincoln.
Do you get shot?
Yeah.
Submit
Didn't he?
my
Got shot.
answers.
How many did we get?
Are we fucking dumb?
All right, we got the cheetah, we got the sailfish, we got the falcon, we got the decade, we got the centimeter. Quickly, yes. Taking a shower, yes. Ooh. Go is the shortest sentence.
That
not
was my
I am.
original one,
made
and
you
you
doubt it.
talked me out of it.
Sorry.
Unfortunately, guys, and we should know this, that William Henry Harrison was not the shortest president.
Oh, damn
It was
it.
James Madison. And unfortunately, Abraham Lincoln was not the shortest amount of time served. It was William Henry Harrison.
Oh. Anyway,
Well,
let's.
of the 2 questions that we got wrong, it was like American
We got 3
history.
questions wrong, and I talked you out of one of them.
Yeah, well, that was your fault.
Talk about ending a podcast on an anticlimax.
No,
Yeah.
we're not. We're not. Let's just talk about what are you guys looking forward to next week the most.
Without giving away what next week is too
Yeah,
much.
we'll talk about. I can say for myself, I know for a fact that I'm looking forward to Wednesday.
The workout you gave Sam?
That is Tuesday's workout.
I'm
I
ready
like
for
the
that.
workout after. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm excited to see people do a benchmark workout. And that's what I'm looking forward to the most.
I'm gonna have to say Tuesday. Tuesday's really got it for me.
That's the
yeah,
Tuesday
I wrote Tuesday thinking about Greg. Hopefully he's back in action on Tuesday.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah. Excellent. Well,
All right.
that's all I've got to talk about.
Hey guys, we wrapped that up in
45 minutes.
46 minutes and 15 seconds.
Excellent.
See you next week.
Bye.
See ya.